Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 29th of November for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now what I'm going to do is give you a broad overview of the major strands that are going to be influencing us all. And then please stay with me, I'll dive deep to give you in forensic detail your zodiac sign forecast. This week begins with a momentous astrological moment. The Sun and Mercury are so tightly together as we see it from Earth that they are in cazimi. This is going to see the power of the Sun magnify the influence of Mercury. Mercury technically is in detriment in the sign of Sagittarius where this event occurs, but I actually really quite like Mercury in Sagittarius. I think it's very thirsty for knowledge, it loves travel, it can be very adventurous, and the Sun and Mercury coming together suggests that we are going to have a greater desire to inform ourselves, but inform ourselves with higher ideals, the bigger picture, philosophy, history, any kind of background research, whether it's into the family tree or a business plan, can really benefit from this combination. Also very good for contractual discussions as well. Now we know that the world environment is challenged severely by COVID. If COVID wasn't there, I think a lot of us would want to inject our existence with some kind of spontaneity and adventurism. But we can still use our minds to achieve that. And Mars in the sign of Scorpio, which it governs, is forging a very compassionate link to Neptune. Now this suggests that we can dive deep in our thinking and the things that we explore, the knowledge that we gain in a very productive way. But also this week, the Sun is going to go on to forge a very stable link with Saturn. Now of course Saturn gets a bad astrological press, but it's very much to do with boundaries, stability, the structures that we're trying to build up that are positive. Of course sometimes Saturn will limit us around the things that aren't working so well. But this is a lovely angle because the Sun in Sagittarius is very much about freedom, and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, also about freedom, is the ruler of that sign, the co-ruler. So where we're progressive and we're growing our situation and being more pioneering, but we're doing it in a step-by-step, thorough, well-researched way, Saturn supports the Sun in a very constructive manner. Now that brings us to that incredibly powerful total solar eclipse which occurs on Saturday. If you want to watch my deep dive video into this, please see beneath this video. Now this event is broadly going to still be in a sextile with Saturn, but it's also going to forge a quincunx with Uranus. So I think one of the things that we must embrace over the next 6 months, the range of influence of this final Sagittarius Gemini polarity eclipse in the series, before we go more into the Taurus Scorpio season of next year, and we've already had the Taurus lunar eclipse, the first phase of that. I think what we've got to just bear in mind is that the position of the Sun in the 9th house is about going for it. Uranus in the 2nd house is about more being conscious of our resources. So because they're not quite aligning very well, one of the things that we're going to need to work hard on, all of us, over the next half year is using our resources in a more constructive, practical way and not spending money just for the pleasure of it alone. So we're going to be looking to invest in things that have some kind of ongoing practical credential rather than living in the moment quite so much. So I think all of this is asking us to become much more mindful of our resources. But please stay with me for your in-depth forecast. But if you are new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope, written horoscope, fired to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video. And if you'd like to get your personal forecast for next year, you can do so now and get the rest of this year free, plus a character analysis plus 30% off. Also, please see the link below. Hello Libra, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 29th of November. This week begins with the Sun and Mercury in a very tight alliance. From how we view it on Earth, that absolutely, Mercury's in front of the Sun, but absolutely together. It's a cazimi. Now for you, the sign of Sagittarius, where they are, is the third house, which is kind of very Gemini-like. It's very quick moving, it's quick thinking, very agile, very much to do with flexibility, but brilliant for communications. And because, of course, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini and is also very much about communications, I think the agility that you ordinarily have, because you're an air sign too, is just really going to be enhanced. So expect a lot of messages to be pinging backwards and forwards. The pace of life can be quick but really exciting, which you can enjoy. Mars is in your sector of finance and is forging a terrific link with Neptune. Neptune softens the more desire side of Mars, so don't be surprised if you're giving money to a good cause, a charitable institution, particularly embracing the more traditional energies of old Christmas time, less materially based. But Saturn, the planet of structure, has been in your sector of romance full-time since the 17th of December 2020. Had a bit of a blush of experience in this from the 22nd of March to the 2nd of August in 20, before it went retrograde back into Capricorn then. But if there has been limitations around your personal expression, a deep involvement that you were already in, I think the lovely thing about the Saturn angle with the Sun this week is if you've worked through a lot of those challenges and you've worked hard trying to understand your needs and what you're prepared to give to others or that one special person, but also making it clearer in terms of your boundaries, what you expect from them. I think some kind of agreement or accord can be reached this week if something has been bumping along the bottom a little bit, which can set you up future forwards. But it has to be where the work's gone in. And if one side of the equation hasn't been doing that work, the total solar eclipse at the end of this week, also in Sagittarius, links with Uranus, the planet of freedom, and that's in your sector of devotion. And Uranus is very much about the truth. It's the ruler of the skies in mythology, it's the ruler of astrology in my humble opinion, and Uranus in the 8th house is kind of breaking the chains of that devotion where it's not really working. So I think if you're in a relationship that isn't working very well, despite the efforts on both sides, however constructive that link with Saturn and the Sun is, I think over the next 6 months you may continue to think about whether this is going to be viable, because Uranus keeps reminding you of what you're investing, whether it's emotionally, commitment, or even money, property, even a business situation, and your thinking has to be fed in a positive way. So for example, if you're in a relationship which is as dull as ditch water, it ain't going to survive if you're craving for someone who really can tune into your interests, you can have a lot of laughs with, you can do things much quicker and more spontaneously with. If it's all lumbering along and not reaching your true potential, I think this is going to be a pivotal solar eclipse. But if you're single, conversely, this solar eclipse can see you linking up with lots of different people in the months to come, and a lot of extra spark and verve and vibrancy is going to come into your situation.